A lot of very important races in this election year, 5 statewide races that can change the landscape of how Arizona is run. One of those races is the Attorney General's office. Mark Brnovich is the current Attorney General running for the United States Senate, trying to unseat Mark Kelly if he wins that primary. One of the candidates to replace him as Attorney General on the Republican side of the aisle, one of 6 actually, is Rodney Glassman. He joins us now. Rodney, let me start with this. Can you lay out for people kind of what your qualifications are as an attorney? What qualifies you for this office?
Well, thank you, Mike, and thanks for having me on. I'm an Air Force prosecutor. I've prosecuted drug dealers, financial crimes, and protected victims of sexual assault. I've been serving in the JAG Corps Reserves for 13 years. I'm actually a major, so when I put on my uniform now, I serve as the acting staff judge advocate, the head attorney at the active duty legal offices at the active duty bases. And I'm also a private attorney here in town at the law firm of Buse, Gilbert, McGroder, where I practice high-stakes litigation and business law. And, Mike, I'm running for Attorney General because I know the job of the Attorney General is to protect you from the government.
When you look at the field, because it's a pretty crowded field, I think you're one of 6 candidates. What sets you apart from them? You just laid out your qualifications, but what do you think makes you different than the other people that you're running against?
Well, Mike, first and foremost, I'm the only candidate running for Attorney General that has ran a legal office, where every other attorney, every civilian, every paralegal reports to me. And I'm running to run the largest law office in the state of Arizona, over 425 attorneys, 800 support staff. I'm not running to be the lawyer for the governor. I'm not running the lawyer for the legislature. I'm running to be the lawyer for the people, to protect us from the government. And that's critical because the other differentiator is I've built a law practice. I fed my family getting hired by people across Arizona to be their attorney. And those are differentiators from the tactician side. Mike, lastly, from just the policy side, I'm a conservative Republican. I don't just say it. Of the 6 Republicans running, I'm the only one that was so passionate about keeping Donald Trump in office that I cared to write him a check from our household, as well as to raise money and serve on his finance committee. So there are differentiators, and that's why I'm so excited about running, because we need someone who's going to be a true fighter, a proven fighter, as our AG.
Rodney Glassman joins us. He is a candidate for the Attorney General's office. Our current Attorney General, Mark Brnovich, has been pretty aggressive with lawsuits against the federal government on mandates and some other things, the border issues. He's been fairly aggressive. Where do you stand on how he's behaved? What would you do the same? What would you do differently based on the model that's in office right now?
Well, Mike, when I say my job as Attorney General is to protect you from the government, it's not just the federal government. And I applaud the current Attorney General for doing a nice job when it comes to aggressively fighting back against the Biden-Harris administration. But it's not just about the federal government. It's about protecting Arizonans from the state. We're living at a time when governors across this country made decisions to shut down businesses with illegal executive orders. We live in a time right now where our election laws are being flaunted. As Attorney General, I would have done the audit before it was certified. I would have been enforcing our state's election laws, such as the prohibition on ballot harvesting, making sure we have 2 valid forms of ID, making sure that counties are auditing their permanent early voting list. But it's not just about the feds in the state, Mike, as you know. It's about protecting our police. You are a longstanding advocate for law enforcement. As Attorney General, we need to be the tip of the spear when it comes to pushing back against defunding the police, when it comes to codifying qualified immunity, so that our police officers are allowed to make those split-second decisions to protect our families without having to worry about protecting their own. And lastly, Mike, as Attorney General, I'm also going to be fighting to protect Arizonans from our rogue school districts. You know what happened in Scottsdale. You know about these secret dossiers. You know about these mandates. And that's why I'm the Attorney General candidate that's proposed creating a new office with the existing resources so that parents have an advocate. They can call their attorney when school districts are taking advantage of them. The Parent Education Advocacy Office at the Attorney General's office. We have consumer fraud. We have election integrity. We need a place for parents to go, and they should be able to call their Attorney General, protecting them from the government.
And let me ask you on the other side of the election issue, just to be devil's advocate, because you've laid out a pretty good case for election reform, election laws and protecting our elections. The other side of this is this January 6th commission in D.C. with the list of what would be potential electorates and the case they've laid out. But there's been asked to be an investigation, and I don't know if there really is or there isn't going on currently. But what do you make of that? Should there be an investigation of that letter that was sent to Congress of people that would be potential electorates on the Republican side, or do you think this is just politics?
It's a partisan witch hunt. I am frustrated, and I know Arizonans are frustrated with this administration and these liberals using COVID as an excuse for controlling our lives when they should be focused on the number one issue impacting our state, which is illegal immigration. And now all of this turmoil going on, this partisan, it is just a witch hunt about January 6th. The worst thing in my mind that happened on January 6th was the most damaging president in modern history was inaugurated on January 6th because of that certification. And that's the problem.
So if people want to learn more about your campaign, because I know these interviews are very short and I hope you'll come back, but if people want to learn about your campaign and more about your stances on issues and the job of the Attorney General, how can they find you? How can they seek you out?
Well, Mike, our website, www.rodneyglassman.com. I'm proud of the fact that we raised over $1 million in the first 4 months of this campaign and have been endorsed by law associations, police associations across the state from Flagstaff down to El Mirage. And I'd love to come back on your show because I'm committed to protecting Arizonans from the government, and I look forward to earning your listeners' vote.
Well, it's always good to talk to you, Rodney, and I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you.